to another episode
of Hue I Do.
Well, I'm Ashleigh.
And I'm Toniah.
And we have a very special guest on our episode today. Guest, would you like to introduce yourself to the lovely listeners?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, ladies, so much for having me as part of your podcast. My name is Roberta, and I'm the owner as well as the bridal stylist of the Bridal Finery in Winter Park, Florida, right outside of Orlando. And we are an off-the-rack boutique, and we've been helping brides for 2.5 years at our location. So I'm super excited to be here and share a little bit more about our boutique and our concept.
Awesome. I'm really, really excited to have you on the show because as we were kind of, I think, saying back and forth in email, I'm an off-the-rack bride, and so I'm definitely just here for more people being aware of what an off-the-rack gown means and going to off-the-rack shops, because I don't think they are as represented in the kind of bridal space as much as I would prefer. I could be completely wrong, but, you know, I think with like the say yes to the dresses and stuff like that, people kind of have one expectation of what that experience is like. So I'm definitely here and excited that you're on the show to kind of like break that down for us and tell us more about the Bridal Finery and what all y'all do in Winter Park.
Yeah, I'm super excited to share it too. It's definitely a concept that I think people are just now getting used to. It's definitely, I think, a little bit newer to bridal, but not really. But people are scared about it and don't really know. So I'm happy to be here and be able to clear it up a little bit more.
Yay. Well, to start, how was your day?
Kind of crazy, but, you know, great. I did a venue tour this morning in the Orlando area, went to a new venue. Then it was about a 3-hour drive back and forth. So I've been spending a lot of time on the car today. Heard several podcasts on my drive there and back. And then now I'm recording with you ladies and meeting up with a friend for dinner afterwards. So kind of, you know, trying to decompress and then getting home to the kids. I do have 2 teenage daughters. So kind of crazy. How about you ladies?
Well, my day was pretty good. Yesterday was my parents' anniversary, so today I kind of just took them out to eat, and yeah, so
you didn't tell me that.
Yeah, I kind of forgot, but but yeah, so that's pretty much all that I did today. Yeah, how was your day, Ashleigh?
My day was pretty good for Tuesday. Very busy, but one thing I'm very proud of is I use my standing desk for the majority of the day. Granted, I wasn't really at my desk the majority of the day, but the part where I stood because I got that reminder on the Apple Watch that was like, you need to stand. And I was like, you know what? Let's just go with it. So
sometimes I can't stand that reminder. Sometimes I'm like, whatever, dismiss.
Exactly. So yeah, today was a good day. We're basically almost to hump day, which means we're halfway through the week, and it will just continue to go from there. So good stuff all around. But enough about all of us. Or Toniah and I, rather. Let's get into more about you, Roberta, and we want to know all about the Bridal Finery and what you're doing for the brides in the Orlando area. So, Tamias, you can kick it off.
All right. So, how did you get into the wedding industry?
Ooh, that's a long story. I'll make it short for you.
No,
yeah, go for it.
So I fell into the wedding industry by complete accident. I've actually before I got into the wedding industry, I worked with customer service for about 8 years between restaurant and property management. I've always worked with customers, always loved helping people. And 10 years ago, I had tons of my girlfriends getting engaged and shopping for wedding dresses. I helped several of them wedding dress shop, and we would always end up in the same boutique. I grew up in Gainesville, Florida, so we would always end up in the same boutique there. And every time I was there, Tally, my now business partner, would always be there. And the second or third time I had been into the store, she kind of started asking me questions and like swimming around like a little shark, trying to figure out what my deal was. And eventually just recruited me to come and work with her and join her team. I was definitely, I was definitely kind of caught off guard. Wedding dresses were not my thing. I didn't dream about having this wedding and picking out wedding dresses, and never really thought that I would be someone that people would go to for fashion advice or to help them shop. So it caught me off guard. I went into it with the mindset that I would be there for about a year or until I found a real job. Needless to say that 10 years later, I'm still in this industry, absolutely in love with it, now owning my own bridal boutique, and couldn't really imagine doing anything else. So it's taken about 10 years for me to get here, and I'm super excited. Absolutely love what I do. Can't picture doing anything else but helping brides find their wedding dress. So it's definitely a blessing, and everything just fell into place. And it's true when they say that things happen for a reason. So yeah, that's how I got into the wedding industry.
I love that story.
That so
yes.
It's like it found you, you know?
Exactly.
Correct. Yeah, in a way it definitely did. I fell into it, never expected to fall in love with it. And once you're in it for a lifetime.
Love it, love it, love it. Okay, so you're married. So how was like the bridal shopping or the bridal gown shopping process for you when you were preparing for like your own big day?
Yeah, that's an interesting story, wedding dress shopping for me. So I've actually been married. It'll be 14 years in May. So I got married before I got into the wedding industry. I have to say, thank goodness. Otherwise, I would be going crazy trying to plan a wedding or find a wedding dress nowadays. I may go bankrupt if I do that. But my journey with my wedding dress was kind of not a traditional one. One I would not recommend brides take by any means. I ended up, 4 months after we got engaged, we found out we were pregnant, and I got really excited. Actually decided that I didn't really want to have a wedding anymore and wanted to go to the courthouse and have dinner afterwards with family, friends, and loved ones. My mom wasn't too fan of the idea, so she ended up booking a venue for us and helping us with the wedding planning and all those things. So I ended up actually going to a seamstress that I knew that at the time had her shop next to where I worked, and paid her to make my wedding dress. And what a mistake it was. I ended up with this oversized garbage bag size wedding dress that, I was pregnant. I was not ashamed of the fact that I was pregnant. I was probably like 120 pounds at 7 months pregnant. So teeny little thing, and I'm 5'2", so I'm very petite. And I wanted to show my belly. Everyone knew I was pregnant. I didn't really care. And she couldn't wrap her head around the fact that I was okay with that. And she did everything with the construction of the dress to hide my pregnancy, which made me look, huge. So the night before my wedding, I went in to pick up my dress, and I looked like 3 of me could fit into it. And I asked her to taper the sides a little bit to make it a little bit more like a summer dress that would just kind of fall. And she said that she couldn't do it because when she did it, it would end up being a high waters dress. So I ended up walking down the aisle with a dress showing my whole entire foot because I cared more about the dress being tailored than being short. So yeah, that's my wedding dress story. Not a fun one.
Wow.
But definitely lesson learned. Having a seamstress make your dress and you not see it until it's too late, it's definitely not a risk I recommend anyone take. So
definitely. And I'm sure that might have helped you kind of frame how you go about just your daily interactions with brides. I mean, I can imagine you just don't want them to have a similar experience.
Absolutely. I mean, I get asked, of course, all the time about my wedding dress, and I share the story. I have no problem sharing it, but it definitely helps me guide them in the right direction for sure. I take what I do seriously. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been doing this for 10 years. I wouldn't own my own boutique. So for me, styling a bride, it's not about a sale, but more so really styling a bride, being able to help her pick her wedding dress that she's going to start her family with. It is the dress, it's the garment that she's walking into her new family in. So to me, it's serious. It's important. So
speaking of your shop, please tell us how you started and why you started the Bridal Finery.
So as I mentioned before, Tally and I worked together at another bridal boutique, a traditional bridal boutique with many fitting rooms and traditional way of strapping, traditional way of ordering your wedding gown. We've actually worked together there for 7 years. She had been there for about 14, and I was with that company for 7 years. The company was sold rather quickly. Sale went through in about 3 months, and it caught us a little off guard. I had never thought about leaving the company. I had never thought that I would open my own business. Needless to say, it caught me very off guard. Tally at the time was 9 months pregnant when the sale went through, not also looking to open a business or leave the job that she had for 14 years. But we knew that we wanted to stay in the wedding dress market, but it was very hard for us to think about going and working for our competition, working for someone that we've competed with for so many years. And, so many years after selling dresses and helping brides and doing things the way that you do them and having your own belief system of how a business should operate, it's very different to pick up and go to another company and start from ground zero. So Tally and I got together one night, and she approached me with the idea of opening a consignment bridal boutique. And I was scared to death, definitely not in a financial position to open a boutique, but, you make things work and you take out loans and you figure it out. So we knew we wanted to stay in the wedding industry, selling wedding dresses, but we knew it was not possible for us to purchase stock. We were not in a financial position to purchase stock, and we knew that the need for off-the-rack dresses as well. So we originally started the concept of the Bridal Finery with consignment, thinking that we would consign dresses from past brides and sell them off the rack that way. Our concept rapidly evolved before opening. Once we started putting out there what we were doing and sharing it with designers, our plans, they were like, no, wait a minute, like we have stock dresses. We've had this relationship with you for so many years. We don't want to lose that relationship. We can send you our overstock dresses, and you can sell through that inventory. You can sell that inventory through the rack. So that's how the Bridal Finery kind of evolved and how our concept shifted quickly. But from the moment Tally and I first sat down to have this conversation to the day that we opened our doors, it was only 3 months. So it happened rather quickly. We just hit the ground running and opened the doors within 3 months of our first conversation about it.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
It was very quick. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like other people, it would have taken 6 months or a year, or, they would have had to go other places and then slowly make their way. But I love that, honestly.
That means that it was definitely meant to be,
For sure. Everything just really fell into place the way that it should. Everything happened in our favor, even with the spot that we were looking at, and everything just really, really fell into place. We were very lucky to have been, welcomed and being able to open so quickly. So it worked out. It worked out really, really well. And the support, we couldn't do it without the support of our husbands and our families and, supporting us every step of the way.
Very nice. So speaking about the dresses, do you all sell designer dresses or do you all make them in-house?
So we do sell designer dresses. The dresses come directly from the designer or other bridal boutiques throughout the country. We have partnership with both, and we do try to focus on selling designers of a certain quality. We were used to working with dresses that are a little bit higher price point. The store we were at, we retailed anywhere between like 5,000 to about 15, 20,000. So we knew quality, we knew the construction of dresses, and we knew we wanted to stay within that realm. So it was important for us to be able to source designer gowns, whether it came from the designer themselves or it came from other bridal boutiques.
Okay.
For those that are listening that have no idea, can you explain what an off-the-rack bridal shop is? Like, because I know we've said it a few times, but I'm sure there's someone listening that's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
No idea. Absolutely. So a traditional bridal boutique, you go in, you try on a sample dress, you try on a dress that's hanging in their store, and then they measure you and they order a dress for you. That ordering process takes anywhere between 6 to 8 months. In an off-the-rack boutique, the dress you try on is the dress that you end up purchasing. So that is the biggest differentiator. There's several different types of off-the-rack boutiques. There's stores like us. They're not very, very many, but there are stores like us that source their dresses from other bridal boutiques. In our case, we also source our dresses from the designers themselves. There are off-the-rack boutiques that solely focus on consignment, reselling dresses from past brides. And then there are off-the-rack dresses that are sold through a sample sale inside of a boutique that has special order dresses, but they need to cycle through their inventory, so they'll host a sample sale. So those are the 3 different types of off-the-rack dresses that you can purchase.
I love that. I love a good loaded answer that like knocks off another question that I might have asked. Perfect.
Good.
Thank you.
So, because the coronavirus is such, a huge topic right now, what kind of impact has it had on your store, if any?
Yeah, so it's definitely the coronavirus and the wedding industry is a huge topic of conversation right now. It's all over message boards, on Facebook for, other brides. And there's a lot of controversy and a lot of conversations happening about the coronavirus and the impact in the wedding industry. Honestly, for us, it hasn't been a huge impact. It has not impacted us directly. Being an off-the-rack boutique and our dresses are ready to go, what you try on is what you end up wearing down the aisle. Those dresses have been in our boutique for a little bit. The designer has had the dresses for several months before we get them. So we're not being affected. Most of the designers that we carry at the Bridal Finery are mainly made in North America. So we're not really having issues with it. We've created peace of mind for our clients. Even before the coronavirus hit, our boutique and our business is all about peace of mind. And with this crisis happening right now, purchasing off the rack and having your dress there, not having to worry about ship dates, how it's being affected, or just knowing where your dress is being sourced from. If you are special ordering, have those questions for your boutique. Have the questions of where are fabrics coming from? How much of a delay are you getting on your shipping? Are any of our designers being affected? Which one of your designers are made in North America? So having whether you're buying off the rack and whether you're buying special order, just have questions ready for your boutique and come in prepared to ask them and make sure that the store has the answers for you. But as far as us being impacted, it hasn't really impacted our business in a bad way. I think it has brought more light to the fact that there are options for you to purchase off the rack and not be worried about the coronavirus at all.
I think now more than ever, those conversations will be had because of this. And I think more brides are going to be asking those questions because before, I think, when Ashleigh and I, when we went to the store to buy her dress and like we went around, like we weren't asking those questions, because it wasn't a care, or like we didn't even think to ask, where is this dress being sourced from, but now because of this epidemic, I think that many brides will start asking these important questions.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
And in the end of the day, it matters. It does matter for many reasons. It matters where your dress is made. And nowadays it matters even more.
Yes.
So
yes.
just ask questions. That's all. Just ask them.
Definitely. Definitely. I mean, like, as Toniah was saying, I know I wasn't even thinking about this at all in, like, bridal. Like, I didn't think about the implications that it would have on, like, my wedding or anything. And it wasn't until my planner kind of reminded me, like, hey, so where you want your bridesmaids to get their dresses from? You know, they actually have a production facility in China, which now has, you know, kind of had some impact based off of the whole coronavirus. So you might want to just, like, keep that in mind, might want to, like, kind of cushion more time if the girls want to still go there. And I, at that point, was like, oh, wait, I didn't even think about that because, I mean, I got my dress from an off-the-rack place, but they would have to order theirs online. And so because that store sells ready-to-wear dresses, or quote-unquote ready-to-wear, right? So, like, off-the-rack dresses, but you could buy it online. They've seen, like, a influx in people buying their dresses, but I guess maybe I would imagine bridesmaids' dresses have gone, like, sales for those dresses have gone down, but, like, brides' dresses or gowns have gone up. So now there's, like, an extra month that you would need to kind of cushion for if you were to buy your dresses from them. And so, like, okay, do y'all won't even go this route anymore? And everyone said, no, let's just do David's Bridal. Because, I mean, you'll just get your dress within a week because it's made here. And that's just definitely something I did not even think about. So it's good to know that it hasn't really impacted you, or especially in, like, a negative way, but it's very interesting to see that the coronavirus is kind of
it's definitely impacted some stores, and, you know, we're just lucky enough to not be impacted by, but it's, I think the best thing brides can do, or anyone can do when buying anything, is just ask questions. Just ask questions and do your homework. Do a little bit more homework than you would have done. So, and try to get those answers beforehand.
Definitely. Okay. All right. So moving away from coronavirus, do you think, and I already kind of alluded to what I think about this, or what I assume, but do you think brides are aware of off-the-rack shops and even dresses in general, and why or why not? Do you believe so?
I think brides are becoming more and more aware of the option of buying off the rack, especially with so many online retailers such as Poshmark, Mercari, all these different type of companies that are pushing resale, sustainable fashion. I think it is more and more the movement of brides being okay purchasing off the rack. Honestly, most of our brides coming into our store don't know the concept of our store. They have no idea they're coming into an off-the-rack boutique. Of course, we do have few brides on the other spectrum that sought us out and are coming to us because we are off the rack, but most of our brides are not. They're totally fine with it. Once they're in the store, they love our store, they fall in love with it, and they are happy to purchase off the rack. But they had no idea that was an option. When they think of off the rack, they think of resale, they think of wearing a dress from another bride. They don't think of buying new off the rack. They are getting more and more educated and learning a little bit more, of course, with, you know, the coronavirus and everything that's going on in the world. It is becoming more of a hot topic, and it's bringing a lot more awareness to it. Just everything that's happening in the environment and in the world right now, besides, you know, the virus, it's also bringing more awareness to sustainable fashion.
I'm amazed that there's not too many stores out there like your shop.
I agree.
But I think it's an amazing concept, and, like, I know that your shop is going to prosper even more, you know, as you all open up your second shop. So
Thank you so much. Thank you.
No problem. What are big misconceptions that brides have when they start dress shopping?
I think as much as Say Yes to the Dress has brought light to the wedding dress industry, it has also created a lot of misconceptions of wedding dress shopping, such as you should try on 500 dresses. I think that is the biggest misconception that we see. Trying on wedding dresses, finding your wedding dress is not a numbers game. It's putting on that dress, looking in the mirror, feeling beautiful, being able to picture yourself walking down the aisle, and just feeling like yourself. Your wedding dress should be a bridal version of you. And I think it is a huge misconception that it should be hard to find your wedding dress. And it really isn't. It's not that hard. It's like finding your fiance. It's like finding something that your house. It's just finding something that when you walk in, when you put it on, you know it's your dress. I think finding your wedding dress is as hard as you make it, honestly.
You made me onto something. I was like, I'm very indecisive. And so, like by you saying that, I'm like, you know what? It shouldn't be. But yeah, we definitely make it hard for ourselves.
You're speaking to someone that also went to like 6 stores and was slated to go to 3 more. So yeah, I definitely thought I had to try on like every single dress to know. And it's like, no, really, I ended up with the 4th dress I tried on, or maybe it was the 3rd. Exactly. I can't remember, but like I didn't have to try on like 40 dresses.
No, you definitely don't. And in the end of the day, the reality is you cannot try every single dress out there. You just can't. It's not realistic.
You're right. It's so impossible. Oh, goodness. Okay, so are like these off-the-rack gowns like more affordable than other gowns, or what's kind of the general like price point?
Correct. So when purchasing a dress off the rack, there's definitely a financial incentive involved. Every store is different, how they run, off the rack, sample sales, and so forth. At our boutique at the Bridal Finery, you can expect anywhere between 15 to 60% off of regular retail. And on all of our tags, we display both prices. We put your regular retail and we put our KBS price on there, so you know what your savings are. So there's definitely a financial incentive when purchasing off the rack.
Ooh, very nice.
Mm-hmm. So you mentioned a sample sale. And my next question actually will touch a little bit on that. But like, what are runway samples?
So runway samples are literally runway samples. They're dresses that the model wore down the runway. So that dress is generally fitted to that particular model. So if the model is 6'2" and she wore 4-inch heels and she's a size 0, that runway sample is going to be that size. In our boutique, we do occasionally get runway samples sent in because everything that you see on the runway doesn't necessarily mean that it was reproduced. Just kind of like Fashion Week for ready to wear. Everything you see sometimes it's kind of crazy and over the top. It was only made for the runway. It doesn't get reproduced or not enough buyers to purchase it as a stock piece. So we'll get some of those runway samples sometimes in our store, but it is that specific size. Of course, we can alter it, but it is a specific size, and it is the actual dress that was worn down the runway.
Gotcha. So is there a difference between the sample gowns and the off-the-rack gowns?
Yes, there is a difference. So in a traditional reorder store, you have to purchase all of your samples for people to try on. So that becomes your stock, your samples, right? People are coming in, they're trying on those samples, and then they're reordering. For us, off the rack means this is a dress that we've never had anyone wear down the runway, and we cycle through them. So we get samples sent in. We'll usually have them in the store for a few months. If they're not selling, we kind of phase out of them. So for us, off the rack means it's one dress, one bride, that's it. Once that sample is sold, the chances of us getting it back in the store are very, very slim. It has happened before, but it's not like a sample that's being tried on every day and then we're placing reorders on them. They're meant to be sold off the rack.
Okay.
Do y'all have trunk shows?
So we host trunk shows for jewelry because we do have jewelry lines in our boutique that we reorder from. We can sell off the rack as well, but we do reorder. Jewelry, veil, lingerie, we do carry all those things in our boutique and we reorder them. So we'll host trunk shows for our jewelry collections. We truly, our focus and our belief at the Bridal Finery is that we are true stylists. We want to style our brides from their hairpiece all the way down to their undergarments. So whatever you wear on your wedding day, we want it to be the Bridal Finery. We want it to be from us. So that way your whole look is cohesive. So we do host trunk shows for our jewelry collection and our veil and lingerie designers.
Oh, nice. I love all-in-one.
You know what? I never really thought about like the bridal lingerie part.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay. I mean, I guess
send me an email later. I'll hook you up.
Yes,
I'll
definitely.
Get you all the information you need.
Oh my gosh, like let me make a trip. I mean, my fiance's family is from Palm Coast, so I mean that's really not like too far. Like what, 2 hours maybe? So make a trip. Oh gosh. Okay, so how soon should a bride buy her off the rack gown?
So I'm a huge believer in I feel like all of the questions and all of my answers have been very opposite of what you've been asking. But I just believe in being very blunt and upfront and really sharing things the way that I feel. So I'm a huge believer in you buying your wedding dress when you're ready. Like if your engagement's 2 years away, but you want to go ahead and buy your wedding dress now, why should you wait? You know, I just get it done. You enjoy your engagement, get your gown. When you find it, check off the box. There are 500 other decisions you're going to have to make for your wedding day. Why just focus on this one? So I don't think there's a right time to buy your wedding dress. There is a right mindset and a right feeling of when you should buy your wedding dress. So you should come in with the expectation, if you're shopping for a wedding dress, don't come in with the expectation that you will not find it, because chances are you are. When you look for something, you find it. It's the same thing with the wedding dress. When you come in to my boutique or any boutique, know that you're going to find a dress. That's what you're shopping for. So, you know, if you are thinking of going to a traditional boutique and reordering, there is a time frame. It's 6 to 8 months. That's how long it takes to reorder a dress. So you have a little bit more constrictions there. For us, you don't. We've helped brides 3 days before their weddings, and we've helped brides 2 years before their weddings. So there's no right or wrong time to purchase your wedding dress.
I love that, especially for the procrastinators out there. So.
Oh my gosh, the type A in me, when you said 3 days before, I'm like, oh my gosh. But I'm definitely sure there is a real story there.
There's always a story.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
I've heard of like many horror stories about, I know you were speaking on this earlier, about a bride actually getting their dress made, and then when they get it, it's like horrible. And so, you know, they're having to go buy their dress at the last minute. So an off the rack store is like the best place to go. So
for sure.
Yes. So how soon should a bride start on alterations?
So we actually offer in-house alterations. We have a seamstress in our boutique, and we do offer in-house alterations. Our seamstress asks for 2 months before the wedding, so about 8 weeks prior to the wedding to start alterations. If you are someone that is doing custom changes, which at the Bridal Finery, we do a lot of custom changes, we usually start alterations about 3 months prior to the wedding. So it really depends. If you're buying your dress from a boutique that doesn't have an in-house seamstress, I would find who your seamstress is going to be the day that you purchase your dress. I would pick up the phone, give her a call, and say, hey, just bought my wedding dress. My wedding is X date. When should I come in? And they will tell you when you should come in. So definitely ask your seamstress what the ideal time is for her to do alterations on your wedding dress.
That's good information to know. Yeah.
You just lit a match under me because I definitely bought my dress and I still have not coordinated that part. So yeah, I'm going to make some phone calls tomorrow because it'll be October before I know it.
Pick up the phone.
Okay, so why should a bride consider off the rack?
Many reasons. So my number one reason is because you have your dress there. There is a peace of mind knowing that your dress is sitting in your closet. You don't have the stress of waiting for it to come in. You have no concerns on ship dates, anything happening. And as you're planning other aspects of the wedding, when you're picking out shoes, when you're picking out flowers, bridesmaids' dresses, you already have your dress to look at it. Sometimes your cake designer will ask to see your dress, so you have it to physically show them your wedding dress. So there are many advantages. I think the biggest one is honestly peace of mind.
I completely agree there. I can't imagine like having to wait for an extended period of time for a dress to come back. Oh, okay, well, how would a bride buy her dress from the Bridal Finery?
So, of course, by booking an appointment and coming into our boutique, we actually have a lot of clients from all over the country, a few international clients as well. The fact that we sell off the rack and you have the availability of taking your dress home with you is a huge plus. But we've done phone sales as well. We've had brides that have sought out a particular dress that we have in the store, and they know they want it. They know the size they want it. We happen to have it, and they'll buy it all over the phone as well. We may be able to even source a particular gown that a bride is interested in. So, yeah, I mean, you can come in. We can do it over the phone. A few different ways that we can help a bride.
Perfect.
Good.
I love that. You can buy it over the phone.
We try to keep everything simple.
Yes. Okay, so what should a bride know before booking her appointment at the Bridal Finery?
They should know that we are a one fitting room bridal boutique. We pride ourselves on providing the bride with the best experience possible, as well as being experts in our field. As I mentioned before, I have 10 years experience helping brides find their wedding dress and tally 15, not just with the wedding dress, but alterations and so many other aspects. We do get on a waiting list often for the weekends because over the weekend we'll help about 7 or 8 brides find their dress. We're in a traditional boutique. They will help 7 or 8 brides every few hours. So for us, you know, if you know that you want to come in and you want to book your appointment with us, book it as soon as possible. Even if your appointment is a month away, is when you happen to be in town, book it for a month ahead. Your appointment will be about 2 hours long is what we block off for our brides. We don't want to rush our brides out of our store. So we do 2-hour appointment blocks in our boutique, where mostly every store is about an hour that you have to shop for your dress. So we are a little bit more personable in that sense, that we spend a little bit more time with our brides. We really want to get to know our brides, but we are a one fitting room boutique on purpose. And we do help only up to 4 brides on one particular day. So there may be a waiting list, or you may have to go to a different weekend or a different day of the week.
I love that personalized touch because I think like this time in your life is so like fragile because it, for most people, only occurs like once, right? And it's just, even if it does occur again, you never get back like that first time of like really feeling, you know, like a wife to be, or, you know, like just enjoying that whole kind of like engagement period. And so going into a shop, because I mean, like I said, we went to several, for me, going into a shop that feels so personalized, where it's like, yeah, we're only paying attention to you, and we're not just trying to like get you in and out or just trying to make a commission. Like, we actually care about you. And the fact that you're saying like from top down, like jewelry, underwear, dress, like the whole shebang, like we want you to be in the Bridal Finery, like that to me shows a level of like care and kind of like intimacy that you don't necessarily get from like a lot of these shops, because they really don't care. Like, as long as you buy a dress from them, they could care less. You don't even have to buy a dress sometimes, like as long as you buy something. And those places feel more like factories because you're in and out like within an hour. They don't even really like care too much about your name. It's just more of like, okay, we have like so many appointments to send other, like they just don't care. So I truly am like a fan. Definitely love this.
Yeah. We want our bride, you know, to have the best experience. They may only do this once in their lifetime, and why can it be amazing? So we want to give them all the time that they need, and we don't want to push them out.
Definitely. Okay. Well, last question. What advice do you have for a new bride to be that is looking for her wedding gown?
Number one is just take a deep breath. Just take a deep breath. And I've said it before, and I will repeat it a million times. It's not a numbers game. You will go in and you will find the dress. There, you know, get to know your boutique wherever you're planning on shopping, not just their social media channels and not their website, because everyone can make a social media channel and a website look beautiful on the outside. Mm-hmm. Take the time to read reviews, as well as pick up the phone or shoot an email to that store and just ask questions. You know, I encourage everyone to read blog posts that the store has written, or my personal cell phone number is on our website as well as Tally's. It's kind of crazy how easy it is to get a hold of us, but feel free to shoot me a text and ask me a question. I'm here to help you, whether you're buying a dress from me or not. Of course, I would love to help you, but I'm here to help you. My other advice is keep your dress a secret. Bring in the very special people in your life and that are positive to help you find your wedding dress, but don't show it to everyone. Keep it a secret. That way, on your wedding day, their breaths can truly be taken away when they see you for the first time in your wedding dress.
Such great advice.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you, Roberta.
Hopefully it helped you too with your wedding planning.
Oh, definitely. You helped me more than you would ever know. We're not going to let you go just yet. We're going to move on to the unsolicited advice portion of the show, which is
Let's do it.
Awesome. I provide this advice every week to brides, listeners, vendors, whomever is listening, whether they ask for it or not, because that happens a lot when you get engaged. And so my advice for this week is simply, if you think you have a color scheme in mind that you really like, just start buying swatches. One, you'd be surprised, people that are not engaged and not in the industry and have no idea, you'd be surprised at how one's blush or one's champagne or one's burgundy or wine might translate differently across like different stores. So consider that when you're thinking about like your bridesmaids dresses or your bridal party outfits, meaning like families and things like that. And also, so this is kind of like 2 in 1. Once you get those swatches and you decide like, okay, this is actually a color I really, really like, get multiple, and not just for yourself, but, you know, for the bridal party or even your vendors that might need those swatches to kind of go with the core or the aesthetics of your day. So just a little 2 in 1, buy swatches. They are your friends, and don't just trust what you see online, because sometimes that is not exactly what it looks like in person. So that is my unsolicited advice for this week. I bought so many swatches. Anyway,
I love it.
I'm saying that personally. Like, I just got my like 4th round of swatches because I've changed the mother of the bride colors maybe like 3 times. But yeah. But we're done now. I found the color I like. We're good. We're locked in. But anyway, so let's take it home.
So we're moving on to the wedding vendor love. So Roberta, I'm gonna have you go first. Who would you like to shout out today?
I would love to shout out the dynamic duo, the leaders to me in the wedding dress fashion industry, Inez DeSanto. I absolutely love their design. It's a mother-daughter duo, Inez DeSanto and Veronica DeSanto. They designed together. Their dresses are absolutely a work of art, all made in Canada, mainly 100% silk fabrics. Their dresses are just a work of art. Hop onto their Instagram at Inez DeSanto to see more. And definitely take the time to read the latest article on the Bridal Council about them. Their newest collection is integrating a lot of sustainable fashion and a lot of fabrics that are out of recycled materials. So I'm really, really excited to see what's next for them.
Very nice.
Yeah. Ashleigh, I'm going to have you go next.
All right. I've actually really just been a fan of photography lately. Like, I've been quite taken by a few photos that I've just kind of like stumbled across on Instagram. And this one photographer, I want to say, is based in New York. Yes, New York. So for anyone in New York that's looking for a photographer, her Instagram is Chi Ari Love. She is a New York wedding photographer, and her website is chichiarilove.com. So ChichiArilove. But these photos are just like really, really gorgeous. Like, some are a little moody, some are very candid. You know me, I'm a moody girl by all means. So I just love kind of where you can feel the romance and kind of like the emotion captured in a photo. And Chi Ari Love does a great job. So that is my vendor.
Perfect. So
I'm going to have to check them out now.
Yeah, like I don't even know how I stumbled across these photos. Maybe someone tagged it. I have no idea. But I love good, moody, kind of like emotional photography where you can kind of like feel it through the photo. So anyway, Toniah, who is yours?
So this week I also have a photographer. He's based out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. In his bio, he says that he specializes in confident, fun lifestyle portraits, and they're a mixture of modern, vibrant, and fun candids. And when I look at his Instagram, like, it's just that. So his name is Brian Smith. His Instagram name is Smitty Vibe Photo. You can follow him on Instagram at Smitty Vibe Photo. You can look him up online at thesmittyvibe.com. Of course, we'll have all of their information in the show notes, as well as Ashleigh and Roberta's information in the show notes. And so, yeah, I think that's it.
Awesome. Well, again, Roberta, thank you so much for coming on the show. Please let our good listeners know where they can find you in the Bridal Finery.
Awesome. Thank you, ladies, so much for having me in. I'm super excited to have people hear this episode. They can find us at the Bridal Finery on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. We do have a TikTok. It is nothing out of this world. It is a work in progress. But everywhere we are at the Bridal Finery. Our website is just www.thebridalfinery.com. And if you visit us on Instagram, you will see my personal Instagram handle on there. It's just Roberta M. Noronha. It's very hard to spell, guys. So just tap it on our profile and you'll be able to follow me and see a little bit of my everyday life. I post a lot of my workouts on my personal Instagram, as well as wedding dresses, families, everything. So check us out.
Awesome.
Perfect.
Toniah, where can they find us?
So you can find us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn.
Yes.
Because that's new. But you can find us at Hue I Do Wed. You can also email us at hueidowed@gmail.com, and you can look us up online at hueido.com. So that is where you'll be able to find everything as far as where we are aired. If you want to listen straight from the website, you can go ahead and do that. And you can also find Ashleigh and I as well.
And you can find us or our Instagram names in our Instagram in the show bio, because we have complicated names and I don't feel like spelling either one of them out.
Yes.
So that's that.
Yes, Roberta, thank you again. Episode. Yes, it's going to be a great episode.
I
Roberta?
Definitely want to.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I wasn't
sure if we lost. No, I wasn't sure if we lost you.
No, I completely forgot to unmute it, and I was talking to myself.
I was like, oh no, did we lose her? But okay. But yes, thank you again.
Yes, we are going to find our way to
having me here.
No problem.
Awesome. We're going to find our way to Winter Park and come meet you in person.
Yes.
Yes, do it. Take a trip and come into the boutique. I would love to have you guys.
That'd be amazing. Yes.
Yeah. We might make this happen.
Yeah.
Do it. Make a vacation out of it.
Yeah, I'm right now.
Exactly.
I'm trying to figure out like the right time frame to go, but this year is so busy, especially with Ashleigh's wedding and her bachelorette and the bridal showers. But I'm like, maybe we can come towards the end of the year or something.
Yeah,
well,
Let me know when you do.
Receptions. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. We are going there for your reception
in November.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I need it.
Make a trip before then, and we'll get you a dress too.
Oh yeah,
exactly. Exactly. We can make a whole thing out of it. Exactly.
I forgot about that.
But thank you so much again for coming on the show and chatting with us. I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening with your friend and have a good wind down.
Yes.
Thank you so much, ladies. You too. Have a wonderful rest of your week as well.
Thank you. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
Rush Truck Centers would like to help you jumpstart your annual vehicle maintenance schedule. Simply call your local Rush Truck Centers or go online to schedule an appointment. They offer same-day preventive maintenance and repair services, as well as customizable contract maintenance plans to fit your needs. And if your truck breaks down, you can ask their Rush Care customer support team to dispatch a mobile service unit when and where you need it. What are you and your truck waiting for? Visit rushtruckcenters.com to find your nearest location. You can expect more from Rush Truck Centers.